Malin,
Yeah.
what is an authentic digital footprint and why is it important?
Ooh, today with AI and the access we have to everything, to learn anything and become good at anything or tell an AI to do anything, it's more important than ever. Because the biggest difference between me paying you or me paying somebody else that does exactly the same thing or better than what you do is because I like you. I resonate with you. I hear your story. I hear how you speak. I see you show up. I see your struggles. I see your wins, and I relate. And when I relate, or I see who I want to be or who I want to become, and that's when I'm going to pay you the big bucks. Because anybody can sell pretty packages and high conversion and pretty websites, but if it doesn't reflect who you are on a consistent basis, cross platforms, maybe they'll buy, but they won't stay. They won't be happy. They won't champion you. They won't come back. So it's you showing up as your authentic self, cross platforms, online, in the digital space, on through your website, social media, when you're going live, when you're walking outside, when you meet people that has seen you online or have heard of you, you're actually the same person, which foundationally means it's important to know yourself. Because when you know yourself,
One of my favorite phrases is actually that one, like noce te ipsum, which is know thyself in Latin. And I literally have it in my ring here. So how can people first go through the process of knowing themselves or learning to know yourself in your experience?
how people can start to get to know themselves. For me, it started when I realized that I have a choice, that I can actually choose what I want. I can, instead of, especially as a woman, it's important because in society we're taught to make sure everybody's okay. Your kids, your husband, boyfriend, friends. Because when everybody's happy, then I can rest. Then I'm good enough as a woman. But starting to get to know yourself, learning you have a choice. What do I want to eat when we go out for dinner? What do I want to wear today? Not, ooh, where am I going? What should I wear? What are they going to think? And for me, at least, these were just thoughts that came up. Or not even thoughts sometimes. It was just sensation in my body. I was like, ooh, not that. Ooh, not that. Oh, I know. I should. And this should, it does not reflect who I am or who I want to be. So it's like consistently coming back to what do I want? Who am I? Who do I want to be? And who do I want to show up as? Every time.
And I think it becomes a little harder right now just showing that, like making that choice from, okay, I choose to be this, but I show myself online because I could have created my Facebook profile back in 2008, like how can I stay consistent and not get overwhelmed from all the places that I've already created? Like, have you found like a path to start centralizing that foundation?
Not centralizing, but pick a platform and get good at it. Pick a platform. Like, it doesn't take a long time to change profile picture, profile info on all platforms that you've ever created. Actually take 30 minutes and delete the Tumblr that you're not using, or the 3 extra Facebook accounts that you created when you were stalking your ex-boyfriend in 1995 when there wasn't internet. But just stay, like, there's a Google image, there's a Facebook image, and maybe a LinkedIn. Everything else is connected. And depending on what you do and what your services are, especially if your services are online, people need to know like who they're talking to. And your website, it's important that it looks like who you're representing, like who you are showing up as. Because if it's just pretty and things flying everywhere and you show up as this soft kitty on Instagram Reels, then people are going to be like, it just doesn't clock. And it's going to feel, people are going to feel that in their body, that it's not who you really are. You say you're one thing and then you show up as something else. And then you show something, a third thing. Then people don't like to feel stupid. So when they're like, I don't understand this, they feel like, is this me? No, of course it's not me, because we don't want to feel stupid. So it's you. You're stupid, and I don't want anything to do with you, and I'm going to tell everyone, because no, I don't want anybody that I like to feel stupid either.
I see.
So what I do is I'm an entrepreneur and I'm a coach and a keynote speaker, and I champion authentic digital footprint, especially through authentic websites, business coaching, and how to build business around your website and around the authentic digital footprint. So my main focus is business coaching and building the authentic digital footprint with my clients that are businesses or entrepreneurs or coaches, having them know who they are or figuring out who they are and holding themselves by while building their business, and also reflect that on a website and on socials and in interactions, and through consistency build community that will convert into not just followers, but people that buy their products and actually want to stay.
Okay, so it's not only that you're building their website and, hey, give me the website, here's your website, and do that, but you're actually becoming part of the process, becoming part of this uncovering process to themselves of, hey, this is now who I am now. So in that line,
and then reflecting that, translating that into a website, or translating that into a funnel, into a masterclass, into a coaching container, into a product that is connected to a coaching package, or how your different products, it could be services, for example, that is not just connected to what you're good at, but also who you are and who you're representing yourself as, which should be you, because you're selling who you are, but you don't really want to sell, because you want people to like you for who you are and be interested in your skills and being around you. Because today it doesn't matter where you live anymore. Yes, there's still a lot of local stuff, but if you want to be able, for example, to travel with your business or live somewhere else, you need to be able to reflect and transfer this to the online space as well, which is getting to know who you are and then communicate that both with the technology that saves you time and reflects it clearly and beautifully, that also converts.
Okay, nice. And when you're helping these coaches, right, and when you're talking to them, do they get caught up in certain things or in certain moments? Have you seen those things, like a roadblock that they stumble upon when they're trying to figure out themselves? Is there a pattern that you're being able to find, or everyone is different?
Everyone is different, and everyone is the same. A lot of people that are attracted to my type of coaching, they're very skilled. They're very good at a lot of things. They do a lot of things themselves, and they go on all balls, which means distinguishing what to do first in what pattern, and then create a system around it that allows you to repeat it over time. That maybe you have to put in extra time in the beginning, but then you can do it over and over and over again and just tweak it and make it better and add more value, charge more or charge less, depending on the other streams of income that you have.
And when it comes to a process, how long does this process usually take from when they reach a consultation and then they end up building this beautiful website and the brand starts taking off?
It depends on the size of the website and, of course, how long the person wants coaching for. But any time, any time. Give me a second. So anything from 1 month to 3 months to 4 or 6, depending on the size, both of the pages or how many pages or what type of design, if they want just a template or if they want everything custom built. And then in between, we have coaching sessions that continues to kind of expand on their brand and what they want to sell and how they're struggling potentially with their clients, or they're struggling with getting clarity or getting ROI from what they're actually doing. And then we tweak that because with the help of technology, with the help of AI, we can get more powerful and go more into our authentic self, but allowing it to help us and not be scared of it, but using it in the right way.
Yeah, I want to hone in on that because there's a phrase that I've said a couple of times, which is I want AI to enhance what I'm doing, but not replace my thinking.
Yeah.
So how do we prevent ourselves from actually just relying on AI to do the thinking for us versus actually use it as an enhancer?
I think it's still very important to know what you're talking about before you ask AI. So you can ask AI to teach you something or already have taught yourself and then allow AI to be your personal assistant or make things faster for you. But in my opinion and in my experience, the way to be really successful in working with AI, you still need to know what you're doing. Because if you're not, something's going to F up. And you're going to post texts with loads of emojis and the long dashes, and everyone's going to think, oh, this sounds so good, but it doesn't really sound like you, but it sounds good to you. So you got to know how you sound, for example, writing texts or writing posts or writing text for web or press releases or articles or even bachelor or master's or doctor's work. You need to know how you sound, not what sounds good to you when somebody else speaks. And that's something that I'm using in my business when I create texts for other businesses. I get to know the business. I get to know everything. I ask all the questions that I can think of, and I listen to the tone. I listen to how they speak and what's important to them. And with the help of AI, we kind of gathered that. And in their tone, in their language, it's created. But I need to know how to write for web, because then I can quality check that the AI is up to snuff, because it's not always up to snuff. It sometimes it goes on holiday and it gives you something weird and you're like, hey, this is not okay. So it's really important to still know your craft and use AI, as I mentioned, to help you and support you in getting better and learning more. But don't rely on it if you don't understand. Oh, this sounds good. Oh, this looks good. But if you don't know, you don't know. And people know, and they're going to be like, that's not the quality that we were looking for. That's not what you said we were getting.
The matching expectations part, I think, as a service business, because I'm also a service business, but in your case as well, like matching expectations becomes a crucial part of maintaining good relationship with our clients, and also they're like setting their own expectations keeps them with clients. So
Exactly.
it's a really important cycle. Has it ever happened to you where you didn't meet expectations with your clients, and how did you approach that? Like, because there's going to be mishaps. So could you share an experience around that?
Yeah, I had a couple experiences, all beautiful people, and it all starts with great intentions. And sometimes there's this knowing, like this client, there will be something with it. And then there's always something. And it's a 50-50 part. Like what is it? President Smile says, there's no bad people, just bad actions or bad manners or something. And bad behavior. Yeah. So as long as we treat each other with respect, it doesn't have to end bad. So if somebody wants a refund, I'll meet them. I'm like, this is what's been done, and this is what I can refund you, and this is how we can get to do that. Relationships is more important than ever because we're isolating ourselves so much. And I don't think we actually realize yet how important they are, because right now we're loving our AI coach. Oh my God. We don't even need to talk to anyone. We can just say, "Hey babe, I'm feeling low. I don't know what to do. I feel so worthless today." And it's like, "Babe, I hear you. You're amazing. You're doing so well. Don't have to worry about everything. Just take a deep breath." And then we go from there. And it's like we're still I think we're still starved with attention and kind words and affection, that I think we're in a phase where we're moving more into the love language of words of affirmation, and we're like, we're loving the AI and how it affirms us, because that's what it does. It affirms us. And even if it questions us, it always affirms everything else that we do. So I think relationships with clients, with other businesses, with businesses that does the same thing as we do, there's enough for everyone. And this is where we come back to the authenticity and why it's so important to stay authentic, because there is enough for everyone, but everyone is not for everyone. And when we allow this to be a knowing, to be something that's for certain, then everybody's going to be happy, because everybody's going to have clients, but we all have to work for it. We got to be skilled at what we do, kind-hearted, or show up as the people that we want to serve. Because there are people of all high ranks or low ranks, and they need a coach or a business that meet them on the same space. So which is why, again, it's important to know who you are and be that. So the people will find you who likes that and who resonates with that. Even if that's being nasty or not kind-hearted or brush or rash or soft or people-pleasing. Like, there's no judgment. We just need to be who we are right now to attract the clients and the customers who resonate with that, because that's who we are right now. And then there will be no dissonance, just resonance.
Could you share a little bit of your own journey of uncovering these things to yourself? Because of course, you're now coaching people, but probably there was a time where you were coached on this same pillars. So could you share maybe your own journey, and how has that evolved?
I think for me, it's been a constant inner fight for authentic self-expression. Like going from being a people pleaser and honestly, truly believing that first, we're all the same. We all think the same, and we all talk the same and have the same thoughts. And to realizing that that's not the truth. and that it doesn't really matter what the world or them or what my brain thinks that other people are thinking. It doesn't really matter because it's just nicer to be who I am. And growing up I have a twin sister, so identity has been a big thing for me. We were brought up as one, so it was Malin and Penila. It was never who are you and what do you want and who are you what you want. It was easier for our parents. They did the best they could, and I love them dearly, and we have a great relationship thanks to especially this like personal development journey. But it's difficult as a kid and growing up not having an identity. So always thinking on what the other person want to be able to make a decision. So kind of breaking out of that and figuring out who I really am and being okay with that I can actually be who I want and what I want and do what I want as long as it resonates with who I want to be. And that's something that I share with both my clients and my friends. Like everything comes back to who do you want to be and who do you want to show up as? It doesn't matter what everybody else says or what they do or how they annoy you or how rude they are or how could they. It doesn't matter. Like who do you want to be and how do you want to meet them? Because it always goes back to self.
Mm. Mm-hmm. So for someone who probably I didn't know about the twin, that's interesting.
The identity or that I had a twin?
That you had a twin, I didn't know that. That was.
Oh, how can you forget that? I know I've shared that with you.
No, I'm almost 100% certain that this is the first time that I'm hearing from your sister. I'm gonna ask for a picture.
Of course.
Now, could you pinpoint specific moments in your life where you've chosen different, right? Chosen from people pleasing to choosing yourself?
I think it started 8 years ago. I was at the end of a relationship, and a couple of times it had ended, but not really ended. Like there was no clarity. And every time I went back and I convinced him and reminded him who we were and of our love. And this time, 8 years ago, I decided to let him go. Like I allowed it. Instead of waiting for him to calm down, for him to come back, or for me to be able to go and talk to him and when he would be calmed, I decided I was gonna do it differently because I didn't want to do it anymore. And a part of that was start figuring out who I was. And I know I mentioned before the restaurant thing, like what do you eat when you go to a restaurant? For me, that was the biggest thing. I was like, no, nobody tells me what you want to eat. I need to, because usually it was, all right, we're here. Okay, so what do you want? What do you want? What do you like? And then in my brain, I could like fit it together so everybody got something that everybody liked. But I'm like, no, I need to figure out what I want. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm literally like, I have no idea what I want. So I'm like, okay, I don't want that. And I don't want that. And then I'm like, I don't know. And then I had to pick something. And it was literally a rewire of the brain because my brain had always for 35 years gone to, so what do you want? So what does a husband want? What is boyfriend or friend or parents or the people around me? How can I make sure everybody's okay? And based on that, choose something that I like. So if I know you like steak and I know you like seafood pasta, I'm like, and I see steak and seafood pasta on the menu, I'm like, okay, if you choose this, I can take the other one, and then we're both happy with that. We both have something that we like. And just going from that to making decisions on what to wear because I wanted to wear them, not because of, so where am I going? What can I wear? How should I no. I'm like, I'm wearing a ski suit because that's what I want to wear. And I'm jumping down the street because that's what I want to do. And it's taken a while, and it's taken many turns in stepping back in, falling down, stepping back in, falling down, and consistently asking for support and be vulnerable. Share what's on my heart and not just explaining it, because over explaining has been another part of my trauma response.
I love that. It's choosing what, and the moment you finally get a choice, it feels even like uncomfortable, right? Like, okay, now I can choose. Like, what do I choose? But I heard you say something important, which is you first saw what you didn't want. How important it is to identify the things that you are not towards getting the things that you actually want.
Yeah. It's it's a focus. It's a decision of focus. If you don't if you really feel like you don't know what you want, start with what you don't want. But my recommendation is listen. Listen and trust that you know what you want, because you do. You've just been indoctrinated not to know it, not to follow it, not to even ask for something or think you want something because you never got it, or somebody told you that you should be quiet, don't be seen, like don't be heard, or be seen but not heard, or but trust is huge here. Just trust in feels like I don't know, but I know. And the questions like, if I knew, what would it be? If I had the courage, what would I do? If I had the money, the time, the courage, what would I want to do in my life? How would I like to wake up? Do I want to work with this, or do I want to not work at all? And if I don't have to work, what do I want to do? And then follow those thoughts instead of following the thoughts, I hate this, I don't want this, and then numb, and then numb, and then scroll, and then swipe, and then sex, and then addiction, and then food and drugs. I don't know what everybody does, but everything is the same. All addictions, all things that we choose instead of like being with ourselves and feeling what we're feeling, it's the same thing. It's just numbing us because it hurts when we don't get what we want. But when we don't know what we want, then we can never get it.
Well, I met you back in a really powerful event called the Bridge Experience, right? And you've already gone 2 times as a participant, right? So, and I remember also that you were one of the only ones that did like this amazing experience, and you were the only one that actually chose yourself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what can you share about that without revealing the whole magic behind the bridge? What the hell is the bridge?
Bridge and Extreme is the best event that I've ever been to in my life. I've been to Tony Robbins events. I've been to other personal development events, but the Bridge Experience with Preston Smiles and Lexi Panos is heart opening and the soul crushing and rebuilding, and it changes your life, your mind, your heart, your spirit forever. It goes deep and you're held. And I think that's the difference, the biggest difference. You are so held by skillful, loving people that will never, ever allow you to hide or avoid or not say the thing. You're encouraged to be all of you. And there's not a lot of spaces that does that. And choosing myself, it's something that is getting more and more powerful the more time goes. I experienced the same. Yeah, it was that same exercise was an equal powerful experience for me in the second time around, which might sound weird because I knew what was coming, but I went there to play full out as the person that I was then, a year and a half later after the first one. And I believe in karma. I believe in that there's one power, and whatever you put out, you will receive, period. So I was myself in my power and dignity as much as I could. And I always came back to, so who do I want to be? I was like, what do I choose? Like what do I do? And I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what feels good. If this was real, this is what I would do. And I believe that treating it like real life allowed me to survive again. And I'm speaking really cryptically because this is something that needs to be experienced, and it's really important not to drop hints, but it's one of the most powerful experiences, both that exercise and the event that I've ever done. And people are blessed to go there, and it's such a privilege, and I recommend everyone and anyone to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's truly a gift. Another big gift that I at least received, and this is more and more, even right now that I'm entering more into the Bitcoin space, it's this thing about community, right? The value of being in community and the value of actually taking the time to nurture the people, right? We've built this personal relationship for a couple of years already. Like it's going to
Yeah.
be 3 years in October. So how
Yeah. And you were so angry with me because I killed you. You're like, you're so angry. And I'm so grateful that you came past that and you saw the love that was in my heart. Why I felt like I had to at that time. But just so you know who I am today, you would live. And I'm not just saying that, but you would.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Amazing. Alrighty. So yeah, no, it's that's
Community is amazing.
community, right? Like how it's hard and easy to keep in it's simple to keep in touch with people. But we live in this online space, right? I'm right now in El Salvador. You're in the middle of Sweden. Yes, right? Yes, you're in Sweden, and the program was in Austin, right? So what do you do to keep yourself connected on with that community?
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Community today is everything. Like I mentioned earlier, relationships, community is what will allow you to both survive and thrive. Because alone we're strong, but together we get support, we get love, and we get to be shown mirrors that we cannot see if we're by ourselves. And how I stay connected and is all through mostly online. And also, again, circling back to who do I want to be and who do I want to show up as, and then show up consistently in the online space and in life, in real life, person to person, showing up, communicate, understand, and what's it called? Like empathize with the people have lives and we don't really know what's going on, but always assume the good, always. And then set boundaries that, hey, next time I would love it if you at least show up on time or communicate. And if you don't, I'm going to leave after 5 minutes, just so you know. because boundaries is about how can you love me better, and and love myself enough. Like, love myself so much that I can communicate how you can love me equally. And I think community is like, that's a way to keep community and relationships going. You show up for others, both how you want them to show up for you, not just want them or other people to do for us what we need, but even when they are in need, and otherwise show up for them as well. Like, actually take the time and get to know them. What do they want and how do they want to be loved? Because it's not always treat others like you want to be treated, but sometimes they don't want to be treated the way you want to be treated. Like you, for example, when you were in a relationship, you lovingly asked me to change some language around our communication. And there has been a version of me in prior years that would have been adverse to that. How can you don't come here and tell me what to say. If I cannot be my full self with you, then I don't want to. But first of all, I love that you asked, because most people don't even think they have the opportunity to ask for what they want. And you asked, and I really, really honor that. And not only did you ask, but you provided context for me to understand where it came from. So I knew from the beginning that it had nothing to do with you wanting me or trying to control me or my language. It was just, this doesn't feel good to me, but this would. And that is so important, to listen to how other people wants to be loved. And the more you get into this personal development community, the better people become at actually expressing what they like and what they don't like, and what they want and what they don't want. And then also the important stuff is to like differentiate between boundaries and roles and demands and requests and all the things that sounds nice, but boundaries is not telling other people what to do. That is a request or a demand. A boundary is to share what I will do when something happens.
Yeah.
And-
It's super important. So say it again. The biggest distinction between a statement, a request, and a boundary.
The biggest the distinguishing factor between a statement and a request and a boundary is that a boundary is sharing how other people can love me better by me sharing what I'm gonna do in certain situations. And it's not about, if you don't do this, I'm gonna do this. It's about, when this happens, I don't like this, and this doesn't work for me. And if this happens, I will remove myself. You don't have to do anything you don't want to, but if it happens, I'm going to remove myself or have this boundary. And I'm not going to love you less if you don't honor that boundary, but it might be difficult for us to spend time together if you continue to do things that makes me uncomfortable. I'm not judging you, because I know you don't want me, I know you don't want me to feel bad, and I know you don't want bad for me, but it feels bad. So I'm requesting, and I'm setting a boundary. A request is asking. So I can request you to talk to me in a certain way or show up on time. And then the boundary is, when you don't, or if you don't, then I will do this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And something important that you put there is there has to be context.
Yeah.
Context creates everything. And you can say fuck you, but it can be a fuck you and like, fuck you, I don't want to see you everywhere. And the other one is like, fuck you, you got me. You got me in my mirror and I fucking love you, right? But it's the same words, different context. I think
Yeah.
that's super important. It's something else that I also learned and expanded a little bit more in bridge, right? So we're definitely going to leave that in the in the comments. Is there are there other experiences that you look forward to experiencing yourself around this journey of knowing yourself better?
I think it's enjoying life more, like feeling life more. And I know it might sound fluffy, but something that I've recently noticed is the more I spend time with people that I actually like ridiculously love spending time with, the more I laugh and the more I feel alive. So I have been blessed in never feeling like I want to take my life or I want to change something or I don't want to live anymore, but I've had a lot of seasons where I don't care, where I don't want to do anything, where I don't want to feel anything. I want to numb, I want to hide, I had a lot of not wanting to live life. Like I didn't want to end my life, but I didn't feel like living.
Like apathy in a way.
Yeah,
Okay.
apathy. And something that I'm looking forward to that is coming out of having the courage to show up more as who I am and not apologizing beforehand because that's curling. That's like over explaining. Like just so you know, when nobody asked, um, is to laugh more, dance more, do crazy things, like say things, do things, be things without questioning them in my head afterwards. And surround myself with people that seems to appreciate that, that match that we can just where the energy matches, where they can be highs, they can be lows. And what's important in relationships is self-accountability. And self-accountability, it heals everything. It's like you can almost do anything as long as you have self-accountability and then take and hold yourself responsible for what you do. Because with self-accountability, which is, yeah, that happened. I fucked up. I'm sorry. It hurts. I don't, it wasn't my intention. Or maybe it was. Maybe I did judge you. Maybe I did say those things to be mean and to hurt you. But I don't want to hurt you. And I don't want to do that again. And I'm sorry. That's self-accountability. And with that, relationships will stick together.
Yeah.
You know how it feels. Like the self-accountability is like, it's like a smooth jazz and tea with sunshine in your face. It is so good.
I love it. Okay. So we have self-accountability being so important. Laughter, right? Like you're enjoying and you're creating, like you are a creator, right? You create beautiful happy websites. You create you've created music. You're deep into culture, right? Could you share a little bit about what you get excited about when it comes to culture and how are you navigating that space from your uniqueness?
Oh, that's so interesting. I have a bachelor in vocal performance, and doing that in London made me go deep into Afrobeats and Black culture and the diaspora culture. And I even went to West Africa, to Ghana, to record originals of Afrobeats, which was important because I'm white and there's a lot of appropriation going out there and there's a lot of ignorance. And first of all, I love diversity and other cultures, especially because I kind of resonate more than the loud cultures with family values, and it kind of differs a lot from Swedish culture. Swedish culture is very self-centric because we don't need to count on anybody else than ourselves here because the government takes care of us. And Black culture, Latin American culture, even like Indian culture, like so many other cultures is family centric, and enjoyment and expression. And I resonate with that. And going into singing Afrobeats as a white person, I needed to have more knowledge than most.
Yeah.
I needed to be able to understand why it can be really triggering for a lot of people, for me, just by being white, to sing a music and in a way that's not my heritage. And on top of that, to stay authentic to who I am. And not just who I am, but where I come from, but also respect and honor the culture, the music history. And something I really want to champion is how important the difference is between Afrobeat and Afrobeats. There's a very big distinction, and especially here in Sweden, not a lot of people know the difference, but it's a very, very big difference. So Afrobeat is a music genre that was created by Fela Kuti in the 1960s. He was a Nigerian artist that traveled to London and to Los Angeles to both educate himself in music, but also create music that was a compilation of Afro, jazz, high life, funk, and so many different genres. And then he went on a journey to rediscover his Blackness. And usually those songs are 15 to 30 minutes long, and a lot of live musicians. And the stories are a lot about their experiences. But Afrobeats is an umbrella term of African pop music. And it has been, so everything that's actually playing on radio today is Afrobeats. They haven't played Afrobeat in a very long time. So every time people talk about Afrobeats, it's in the media or an event, it's 19 out of 20 times Afrobeats.
Wow.
Afropop, Afrofusion. Amapiano is a part of it, but Amapiano is more of a genre in itself. So yet again, we have this ignorance, especially white people and the West, and people in the West. They're like, why does it matter? We just write what we write, but they don't honor the importance of the culture and the history of music genre.
And how do you honor something like that?
Well, you listen and you take responsibility for knowing what you're talking about. Especially if you're a musician, for example, and you call your music Afrobeat, then how, like, it's not correct, and you're not honoring everyone that's been there before you. And it needs to say that there's a lot of Afrobeat influences in Afrobeats, like a lot of artists take inspiration from Afrobeat into their Afrobeats music. But the Afrobeats is an umbrella term. It's not really either a music genre. Afropop is, Afrofusion, Amapiano, they're genres, but under that umbrella term is West African pop music, and that is Afrobeats.
Do you have your music somewhere people can find and search, or a resource where you can people can go and learn more about the Afrobeat movement and the culture?
Afrobeats. Afrobeats or Afrobeats?
Afrobeat.
Well, you get Afrobeats is what is here today. And Afrobeats is you Google.
Okay.
Google, Wikipedia, Fela Kuti, and
How do you
my
spell?
Google now.
How do you spell it?
Afrobeat
No, Fela, like the creator.
Kuti. Fela Kuti.
Okay.
Fela. And he's from Nigeria and they adore him. He's the goat. He's the goat. Burna Boy, Wizkid, all those Davido, they all come from his inspiration.
Wow.
And my music is on Spotify. I have released one song that's called Be a Man, and my artist name is Malin, Malin, and you can probably also find me on YouTube.
There we go. Nice. Before we go into like the happy websites part, I do want to talk about the craving for diversity, right? There's a certain group of people, right, that will associate with people who are similar to them, but there's also this drive or this call to something different. You just said, right, you got called into this African culture. I am, for example, called to old European culture, green eyes, blonde hair, like even like the type of woman that is my type, right, aligns to something more of that. Where do you think that comes from?
I actually think it's ancestral and societal and a rebel. Because usually we're brought up, at least in our generation, we're brought up to want and like something that is like us. Like our family, our closest community we are all the same. And then maybe our generation wanted something different, wanted to see the world. And we realized that people are different. And different cultures, it isn't just how people dress, but why they dress that way. And how they feel about that, the way they dress or the way they speak or what's important to them. Like, culture is so deep rooted. It took me maybe 20 years of traveling before I actually understood what it means with different cultures. I thought that it was just a thing and it was superficial, but it's a deeper and different foundation. Like the reason I think one way, you have a completely different reason you think the opposite, but they could mean the same. And I love humans, like kind humans and getting to know people. And I think the more different we are, the easier it is to accept that we are different, the more similar we are. And the more different we are, the more easy it is to accept that we're just the same.
Let's finish it off with the traveling piece, because again, you've traveled, you've been a digital nomad, which is something that I'm aspiring to for a while. So
Nice.
what has traveling taught you about yourself besides the culture piece?
Do what I love. I love what I do. I think if you want to work when traveling, routines and consistency is of utmost importance, because it's a lot easier to come with excuses not to do things at certain times or eat certain ways that keeps us healthy and thriving when we're in different spaces. But at the same time, it's also easier to start new, healthier routines. So what I've learned about myself is how much I love my own company and how much I can enjoy doing what I love to do, even when there's no one to share it with.
What are you excited for this year?
I'm going to Cyprus in May to celebrate a friend and to visit my 2 friends. And I'm excited about creating and releasing my first masterclass and group container and how to create the life you desire by building websites and the mindset to hold it. I am excited to grow my business, go deeper into it, and speak on larger stages about authentic digital footprint.
Amazing. And if we could go back to the past, yeah, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, if possible, what's one thing you would have said to Malin?
Oh, learn to love yourself more and don't care so much what you think other people think and want. Don't need somebody else to love you to be worthy of love.
Amazing. Where can people find you to work with you? How can people work with you? Share me the goodies.
I am on LinkedIn as Malin Irevang. I'm on Instagram and other places as She Is Malin. My business is on happy-websites.com. I coach in business and mindset, and I build websites and authentic digital footprint hubs, preferably together. Coaching while building and connecting, creating community, building community, and also soon teaching body entrepreneurs into creating businesses where they can build websites for other people and then have the life they desire by traveling and making money and honoring and giving value to their clients.
Do we have a date for that first masterclass?
In March.
March. Okay, exciting. Well, yeah. Once that one's up, we will put probably the link in the description as well. So, thank you,
I
Malin.
love that. Thank you.
It's
Thank
been
you, Astro.
a powerful conversation, and hope to see you on the flesh soon.
On the flesh. Let's go. On the floor. Yes. Thank you so much, Martin. Martin Cordova.
Angel Martin. Yes.
Martin. Thank you so much.
Till next time.
Until next time.